school and one jazz band online, and then 2 concert band classes at school and 1 online. And we found out today that we're able to do percussion for football games. No brass or woodwinds yet, but we're at least able to do percussion stuff. So we'll start that next week. So there's, of course, obviously, honor bands and at Allstate, and we're trying to figure out how that's all going to work later on in the year.
Nice. Thank you. Next, we're going to move on to me. That's my face. So my Zoom is wrong. I need to fix that. My last name is no longer Kaufman. I am now, my last name is now Berga. The 4 main choirs that I focus on are treble, which are my beginning women, and then men's ensemble. Then I have my advanced women, and then I have chamber, which is a smaller group of mixed. So we have soprano, tenor, alto, bass. And it's just my job to make sure that everyone walks into my room is able to leave, being able to read music and hold their own part and really have an appreciation for harmony and music. It's going to look very different this year, but I'm still going to do my best to do concerts, whether it's live stream or pre-recorded. If honor choirs are happening, that is not going to be mandatory, but if you feel comfortable with it, then we can talk about how to have your kid audition. And then competitions, it looks like most of them are going to be recorded and then sent in to the judges and be critiqued. I still recommend doing that because getting critiques from an accredited judge is always awesome. And especially if it's at a school price and not like a regular competition that costs hundreds of dollars. And then I will help with the musical by teaching the music. So that's me. Let's go on to digital audio. If Mr. Pena wants to talk about his program at all.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mr. Pena. I'm the digital audio professor here at Toho. Basically, this year, we're doing both face-to-face and digital. Only digital is going to be offered on level 1, as it's more introductory. As you progress in the program, basically everything's more hands-on. We'll be collaborating with all the arts departments. We're already collaborating with Chorus and Ms. Berga to record the national anthem, along with Ms. Perez in drama and making some music videos. So we're really excited this year, and we look forward to anybody who's interested in learning about audio. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go on to orchestra. If Mr. Burns is able to talk. If not, just make a noise.
I'm able to talk, but I'm not seeing my picture.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So are you seeing me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. My name is Bob Burns. I'm the director of the orchestra this year. We have 2 orchestras. We have 2 orchestra classes, and they have all the levels, each section. So whether you can sign up for orchestra 6th period or 7th period, all levels are represented there, from a high school 1 to a high school 6. And that just simply means that you, the high school 1, you do have some familiarity with the instrument. Maybe you played a little in middle school and been away from it for a bit, but you come back, you already have some basic understanding of music. Now, we will be involved also in concerts. Of course, this Star Spangled Banner tribute that we're all putting together. We will be involved as much as we can in the music performance assessments, the solo and ensemble, all county orchestras, as much as we're allowed to by the district. We are not a hybrid class. We are face-to-face only, but we do have that. We have plenty of room in our room. It's very safe. We have instruments. If maybe you don't have your instrument anymore, we have plenty of instruments. So we're just available to be very flexible and of service to our Toho community and to our students. And I'm at robert.burns@osceolaschools.net.
Thank you, Mr. Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is one thing I should include. I should include the email addresses for everybody. I can add that later. Then we have going to our theater department. First, I'd like to introduce Mr. Horho. if you would like to say anything.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Horoho. I teach technical theater design and production and technical theater design and production for props and scenery. It is our hope that by the spring semester, we will be in a position to perform again live. That is always the hope of all the performing arts, is to perform. If indeed we have that chance, I will be directing Macbeth in the Black Box, and we'll be designing that, as well as Ms. Perez's musical in the Big House. Again, we're going to have to play this one by ear, folks. I was just at a theater place today, and people are starting to do theater again, and they're, you know, spreading out in big auditoriums, and the actors are wearing masks on stage. I don't know if that's what we want to do, but it might be. But certainly we can't use the Black Box until we, the smaller theater, until we get past this, because it's just too tiny. So, you know, it's going to be iffy. But luckily, we will be having, we hope, a robust thespian club this year, trying to get some kids uploaded to compete for cash and prizes. So we're just, you know, stay healthy.
Thank you, Mr. Horoho. And then, also in the theater department, we have Miss Perez.
Hi, I'm Miss Perez. I teach theater 1 through 4 and musical theater. Just like Mr. Horoho said, we're planning on having 2 shows in the spring. He is doing Macbeth. I am possibly doing Mamma Mia. I'm not gonna like confirm that completely because things can change, but that's what we're hoping. Little Mermaid, I know a lot of you are here for Little Mermaid. We do have a lot of changes to Little Mermaid. I don't want to get into it now because I know you're going to have tons of questions. When we split off, I'm going to talk about Little Mermaid, and we also will have a meeting for Little Mermaid. But we're going to try to do what we can. Thespians is definitely going to be something we're going to work on if you're in musical theater or my theater honors, so that's 3 or 4. We'll be working on thespians in class, but thespians is virtual. So if you are not in my classes, because those are not online classes, you can still participate in thespians, and we'll talk about that later. I can't hear you anymore, Miss Berga.
Thank you, Miss Perez. Then we do not have Mr. Lashbrook here, but Miss Perez said that she would introduce him and talk about his program a little bit.
Yes. So Mr. Lashbrook teaches creative writing, which is a part of our arts family. They are hybrid classes. So if it is something you're interested in doing, creative writing, you can join his classes. I'm not sure what period it is. I'm so sorry. But they are hybrid. So he's doing online and face-to-face at the same time. He will also be helping with thespians. So if you are interested in doing a playwright, he has graciously offered to help with any student who wants to do playwright. And he can't write it for you, obviously, but he will help edit it and help guide you in the right direction. And he will be helping out with a lot of theater fundraisers. And if you're in The Little Mermaid, you know he helps out with musicals and shows.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna bring it back to me so I can explain some things that are a little different this year. So we worked really hard during the 2 weeks of pre-planning to make sure that our room, we could do physical distancing as like to the T. So if you walked into Mr. Abbott's room, you will see the chairs 6 feet apart with X's on the floor. If you walked into Miss Prezer's room, you will see the chairs again 6 feet apart with X's on the floor. If you walk into my room, you will see that I have little circles telling the kids where to stand. That keeps them apart. Same in orchestra. It's definitely a building that keeps our kids safe because all of our rooms are huge. And because of the digital option, we did lose a lot of students per class. So now they have all this room to spread out. And so we just want to put that at ease in your mind that we are keeping the kids, the students separate, but they're still able to interact with each other in a safe way. And a lot of people are worried about droplet control when it comes to projecting in theater, playing your instruments in band, singing in chorus and whatnot. Thankfully, orchestra, you don't have to use your mouth too much. But we are enforcing masks. Even today, there was a kid who had their mask like down here, and Mr. Abbott was like, please put your mask on your nose. It's like, yes, sir. And then also in chorus, I'm asking everyone to wear a face shield, as well as the mask as much as possible, because as singing is happening, we want to have double protection as well as the distance between students who are standing. And then this thing is awesome. Mr. Pena gave it to me. You put it underneath your mask and it keeps the mask from touching your lips. So you're able to project so much more. You're able to so much more, which you don't really need to do in a lot of classes except chorus. But like this thing is saving my life. Unless you are doing warm-ups for theater or whatnot. So definitely kids have to have their face mask. Face shields are really awesome if you're projecting. And then if you want to get these brackets, how you can search for them is called lipstick protection for masks. I know that sounds really silly, but you know, some people need to protect their lipstick. So that's how Mr. Pena found them, and I am indebted to him for this tool. Again, if you have any questions about how we are keeping the students safe in our classrooms, please say your questions in the chat, and Ms. Perez is on top of that. And then security, another crazy thing that happened this summer was not just the safety and health-wise, but also feeling secure with other people in your neighborhood, whether it or in this grocery store. There's just so much anger going on, and it's about like your beliefs, whether it's about like how you look, whether it's about what you want to do. It's just, there's so much tension in the world right now. And we as a group, again, spent time during our 2-week planning. We talked a lot about how to make sure that students felt included and safe and have a place that they can feel like it's their sanctuary when it comes to what's going on in their mind or on their heart. So peace, love, and unity, facilitating change. It would be awesome if people in the school could notice that that person is a art student because of how they are treating their neighbor. And that we want them to learn that from how we treat them in the classroom. I don't know if any other teachers want to speak on top of that, but I just really thought it'd be important to put that in here to ensure you that we are doing our best to keep our classrooms as unified and loving, I guess is the word, as possible. These are things that are going to be different when we have events. So at this point, the auditorium can only hold 50 people, not audience members, people. So let's say even with chorus, I have like 20 something students per choir. So that already will be above 50. So that's why we are, as of now, as we're in this phase, moving to different options. Ms. Perez will talk more about how she's going to utilize YouTube videos and social media in her productions to reach an audience in a safe way. Live streaming is also an option. I have been looking into what it would be like if you gave a donation for the link, and then that link would take you to the choir or the band or the orchestra performing on the stage. And of course, there'll be social distance as well. So you get to watch it live as if you are there, versus the pre-recorded option. And then recorded competitions. I know for me, the Florida Vocal Association for like solo and ensemble, and for all state, we are recording the students individually and then sending it over either to be critiqued or selected, as I mentioned earlier. And then this is Mr. Pena's favorite word, the F word, which is flexible. Just be flexible with us. We are going to keep you as informed as possible. And please just reach out to us in the best way you know how. I know, like for me, the best way is Remind. Maybe for Miss Prez, the best way is email. Maybe you can find a different platform that's best, but we're being flexible. We're hoping that we get to perform more and more, but we are prepared for anything. This is a happy topic, honor societies. So I don't think a lot of parents know, but when you are involved in the arts, you get the opportunity to be in honor societies. I know that National Honor Society is like the go-to one that everybody knows about, but Thespians is like National Honor Society, but only actors can be in it. So good GPA, great service, great leadership, and it looks really good on resumes. And then the Tri-M Honor Society, that actually covers chorus, band, and orchestra. Tri-M, tri-music, the three music people. So again, great GPA, service, character, musicality, like your skill as a musician is part of the assessment process. So those are things that you can talk to us individually when we do the breakouts. But yeah, I just want to let you know that your students have the ability to have really good resume builders and opportunities to shine in not just their performance, but their academics.
There's a good question about honor societies. Bailey's asking if you can be in both.
Why not? I mean, I was in national and I was in Tri-M when I was in high school. So the more on your resume. Just know that you have to complete 2 different community service hour sheets. Like you can't use the National Honor Society stuff for the Tri-M stuff, if that makes sense. It has to be, you have to be able to have time and the ability to do both.
For Thespians, we'll talk about it a little more later. You have to be in shows. So your hours within shows counts towards being in Thespians. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. There is 2 other questions, Ms. Burke. I don't know if you want me to do it now or wait.
Well, you can do it now.
Okay. They're asking if any of the performing arts are able to have after-school rehearsals.
As of now, there have been pre-approved events that we talked about with administration in July. And so we all know what those are for our individual programs. So we can talk about that when we do the breakouts. So if there is something you are interested in or want to do, that would have to go through us, and then that would have to go to the facilities meeting with the administration and then be approved that way. Does that answer the question?
I think so.
Okay.
And then Ashlyn is asking for like live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can answer this in our own groups, but she's asking, do they come to school, perform, and then if their parents drop them off, the parents would have to go home to watch?
Well, that's a good point. I think what I would do for chorus, I would do my best. U.S. government entered the waiting room. I don't think I'm gonna let them in. So I would probably schedule the live stream broadcast probably closer to when school's over, so that the parents don't have to drop them off, if that makes sense. But that, again, that's director, that's up to the director and whatnot. Okay.
And then someone just sent a question of how can students get service hours if there's no community orchestra right now?
Oh, so your service hours, if you look at the application for Tri-M, if you haven't gotten it yet, please see me or Mr. Abbott. And I can also drop off some with Mr. Burns as well. The service is not all 15 hours needs to be for musical participation, at least 5 does. And that could be like emailing the elementary music teacher and being like, how can I help you for a few hours after school? So again, it has to be okay with the parents for community service to be happening right now. And you could even be creative. You could find a digital way to do it where like, I will, like, you give me a bunch of music books and I will digitize it for you or something like that. So it doesn't have to be performing in an ensemble to get your hours. It has to be something like it's a service to the program, a service to an orchestra program. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Is that all the questions? Awesome. Okay. Fundraising. So the need is not going to be as huge as a normal year unless everything goes back to normal. But there are still needs in the sense of we need to fit the needs that have come up this year. So we can talk about that individually as directors. But I just want you to go over like the purpose is we are extracurricular activities. So it is such a blessing that our textbooks and our like materials that have to do with inside of class, they are covered. But when it comes to anything else like competition fees or a bus to candlelight or like this or that for rehearsal after school, all the things that the students like to do, that has to be fundraised for. And so there is a purpose, there is a need. And if you have any ideas, one time I had a parent who worked as a executive or something for Moe's, and they made it possible for us to have a really awesome fundraiser night by whoever came with the flyer. They would buy food and then the chorus would get money, and like every hour, half hour I think it was, the chorus would stand up and sing a song. And it was a really, really fun time. So, and I would have never had that connection unless a parent was like, hey, let's do this, you know? So if you have any ideas of what you can do to like propose a fundraiser for us, that would be amazing. Connections are very valuable to us. So I'm gonna go on. This is so important. In order for you to help, let's say that parents and volunteers can come back to help us. Right now they're not, but you can come back to help us. Wouldn't it be great if you already had your OASIS application approved and then you can just come on in? Because sometimes it can take a month. So if you wait for that that to be released, then you have to still wait a whole nother month before you can come in to offer your amazing time and service to us. So please write this down. I don't know if you can click on it, but it's super simple. OsceoSchools.net/OASIS. I should explain what OASIS is. OASIS is the volunteer application with the district to come onto schools and to help teachers. It's just, it's their way to do a background check on the people who's gonna be with other people's kids. So I'm sure you really enjoy that because you wanna, of course, we have the accountability to make sure that we are treating your students correctly, but who's this parent that I've never met before in the classroom? Don't worry, they've had a background check, they've had an application, the district knows who they are and what is going on. So if you could be one of those people for us, because we need volunteers like nobody's business, especially during rehearsals. Like I had amazing volunteers last year. I had almost 200 students doing a rehearsal, doing a dress rehearsal, and I had a few parents come in just to be some extra pair of eyes, and that was awesome. Even if you think you're OASIS approved because you did it last year, you need to renew it. So still go to that website and renew your OASIS application. Okay. Booster. What is a booster organization? A booster organization is a group of parents that comes together to better the club or the department or the organization that their students are a part of. You can have athletic boosters, that's what we usually hear about, but you can also have fine arts booster. So if you are an orchestra parent, or a chorus parent, or a theater parent, or a digital audio parent, or a parent that has anything to do with the arts, then you can be a part of this organization. And the reason we're asking about it is because there's just so much time that we can put into fundraising and organizing events and getting gigs and getting donations and all that stuff. And if there are parents out there that really want to be involved with what is happening in their students' program, even if it's an hour a week, even if it's an hour a month, you are benefiting your students' high school experience. And especially if this is something they want to do in the future, you're benefiting their future career. And so I'm really asking for you to consider being part of a booster organization. We're starting it this year because I think it's a great year. We will be able to give a foundation for something that will be very crucial next year when hopefully everything is better. And you will not have the stress of trying to get this much money this year, all this paperwork this year, all of this going this year. So if we got it started this year, got the seed planted this year, then by next year, I really see a beautiful, like strong tree able to help the programs. So we need at least 4 parents, at least 4. We need a president-elect, a secretary, and a treasurer. Anybody else would be awesome, but we need at least 4. So I do have on the form that you filled out some people who said yes, some people who said maybe, and if you said no, I totally understand. We work hard. If you work like 50 hours a week or whatnot, I'm not asking you to give more, because that is a lot. That is how you are investing in your child's future career. But for the people who said yes and maybe, please have that conversation with your director when we do the breakout sessions. And then the directors can come together and talk about who had interest. So I do see that someone wants to be president. So ooh, that looks exciting. Okay, let's move on. Okay, it's 6:04. So it is time to break out into individual meetings. So what's gonna happen is each director is gonna put in a chat. Actually, I think what we'll do is we'll tell Miss Prez, she's gonna type it in the chat. So if she could, for like chorus, semicolon, and then the code and the password. And then you'll leave this meeting and you'll join that meeting so that we can keep having these conversations, but instead of as a whole department, as individual classes. Is there any other questions for the whole group, Ms. Prez?
There's a couple. Janelle, I do think you should just stay on this chat and then everyone else moves so like chorus can stay here.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. There is a few students asking that if they're in like chorus and theater, if they're in band and theater, how are they supposed to go to both?
Well, I am recording mine. So if people stay, so if I'm allowed to keep, I'm recording this whole thing for people to use it, to watch it later if they're at work or whatnot. So if people want to stay with me, because they're only in chorus, let's do that. And then if you're in something else, just watch this portion later. And then Mr. Abbott, what about you? Is it because of Bailey?
Yeah.
What would you like Bailey to do, Mr. Abbott?
Whatever she's comfortable with, it's fine. I can have a conversation with her individually if she has questions.
Okay. So maybe stay with you since you're gonna share a lot of stuff about the musical.
Yeah, there's a lot of info.
Okay. So Ms. Perez will put in the chat the meeting code and the password for theater and for band. I'm not sure if anyone else needs to make their own meeting, because at like the list that I have, I only have chorus, theater, and band on here. If you are an orchestra person, can you say hello really quick? If you are a digital audio person, can you say hi really quick? Okay, so I think Mr. Pena and Mr. Burns, you are free unless there's anything else you want to Share. Okay, bye.
Hey,
Um,
don't get rid of me so fast.
Oh no, I was saying bye to Mr. Pena because he was waving purposely.
Oh, okay. This is Mr. Burns. If any of you guys have questions, always robert.burns@osceolaschools.net. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Burns.
Isabel, Miss Berga, Isabel wants to talk to you personally.
Okay, I can make everyone else leave once I'm done with the. Oh, is she gonna join yours though?
She also has mine, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just. I can't call. I will Zoom her. Not Zoom her. I will Teams her. So tell her to go on Teams after your meeting, and I'll have a video chat with her on Teams. She probably heard that. I'll call you on Teams, Isabel.
It said cool.
Anything else? Did you already put the? Oh, okay. So, yeah.
I'm gonna head over there. If anyone else in theater wants to head over, again, Miss Berga's recording hers. I have a ton of information, so if you want to head over, go ahead and head.
And then
Ms. Perez, I'm sorry, I can't find this this new meeting room. Where is it?
The number is 898.
Is it? Did you write it in chat?
Yeah.
Okay, because someone else just
Sent it
asked.
to Bailey.
What?
Hold on. I only sent it to Bailey. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
I made it private for just her. I think it's because she was the last one to say something.
That's
There you
because
go.
she's the only one that cares.
I
Okay,
sent
Toho.
it.
I'm sorry. Is that theater? Is there an E on the end of it, or did it just cut off?
For the password, there's no E.
No E on the end. Got it. Thank you. All righty. See you there.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Berga.
So I'll start mine then. All right.
Yeah. Okay, I think. Okay, I think we are good to start. Can everyone give me a thumbs up if you hear me? Yay, thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna do all of this as fast as I can. Again, this is the chorus parent meeting. We had already finished the full parent meeting, and we divided up into different groups. So if you are a band or chorus or person, then please check the chat for your code and password for that specific group. Okay, yes, I will post theater for you, Miss Harris. Okay. Oopsie. Everyone. Okay. Okay, I'm still getting people joining. So again, I just want to say that the code for theater and band is in the chat. This is chorus only at this point. We had already gone through the group one. You are welcome. So first, I just want to go over the course handbook really quick. Not the full thing, because I already did this with your students, but for us, you can totally unmute your mic and ask a question and interrupt me. I just didn't want to do that for the full one because we had so many people, but there's only like a few of us here now. So if you have a question, please interrupt me. The table of contents is here. Any item that has an orange diamond next to it, those are forms that I need filled out as soon as possible. It was actually part of their participation grade last week, and not even half of the students actually completed that. So please go ahead and help do those forms with your students together if they have not done it yet. You can read about the choirs, what is expected of them. Again, I have beginning men, intermediate men. There's some in there that's been singing for a long time, some I've never sung before. Women are more advanced. Chamber is the most advanced, and then treble is like my beginning or freshman. And then chorus council is very important. These group of 10 students, I'm giving ownership to them over their department. So there's the president-elect, treasurer, librarian, historian. You can read what each one does to help me keep the program running and to keep them feeling like they have an active part in their program. And then this is what we're doing right now, the parent meeting. Yay, thank you so much for being here. So we talked about fundraising as a group, and some of the fundraising ideas that I already have in place. We are going to do Snap Raise. I think we're going to do the kickoff next week. We did that last year. It's really easy. You literally just send friends, family, coworkers, whatnot, an email saying, please help. And you'd be surprised at how many people end up donating from the kindness of their heart. And then I have so much for sale. I have tumbler cups, I have t-shirts, I have hoodies. These are things that we have in inventory that help us build revenue throughout the year. New York cheesecake. So we do this every year with the Cheesecake Man. We have New York cheesecake and pies and cookies imported from New York. And I don't know about you, but there is something different about the water in New York that just makes bagels and pizza and cheesecake so good. So that is what we're going to do again. I know that we're not going to make as much as we did last year, but we're still going to go after that. And then Valentine's Singograms is a cute little fundraiser that the students do during February. Choir concerts, we're still planning to have choir concerts, whether we're going to have them live stream or pre-recorded, we will figure that out. And then discount cards is something I'm playing with. That's going to be basically you buy a discount card for like $10 and it works at restaurants all over. And you can see what we are fundraising for. And if you have any questions about what we need, please ask. The best thing that I'm trying to fundraise for is tablets for the students, because paper holds bacteria. And so I gave right now, everyone has their own sheet of music, but it would be so much better if we were using tablets that could be wiped down, because paper can't be wiped down. So I'm trying to raise money for tablets to help keep your students safe. And so choir dues, every high school choir department has a fee called dues, and we are the smallest amount in the district. So that is a huge shout out to everybody who fundraised last year. Thank you so much. There's different ways to pay for the dues. The way that we have to right now is called My School Bucks. If you Google My School Bucks, you make an account, sign up with Osceola School District, and put in your student's ID number. You'll be able to have access to the Tohopa-Caliga store, and in there you will see the chorus dues. So please go ahead and do that for us so we can start getting a kickstart on what we need this year. You can read over the uniform responsibilities based on which class your student is in. When I do need this form, because I need to know what size dress or pants or coat to get your students, so please fill that out. Notice that I do need them to be dry cleaned so that, again, you don't give a smelly dress to another student. And if you lose it or there are damages, I do need to replace it. So this is the cost of what they actually are. Even though I only charge $20, $50 per student, This is how much they actually cost for each item. So please take care of them because you can see how expensive it can be to replace. We talked about Trium a little bit. I really recommend this honor society. You basically get your hours and your experience without even trying if you're a music student. And you get to walk down the aisle at graduation looking really spiffy if you're in it your sophomore, your junior, and your senior year. So I really recommend that you get an application from me by September 25th, or just turn it in by September 25th. And then we will have some sort of induction ceremony on October 7th. Florida Vocal Association, this is the honor choir for the state. If your student is interested in that, we can talk about that later. Unfortunately, ACDA's honor choirs did get canceled, so we can move on from that. Candlelight, however, has not been canceled yet. So if you want to look over those those questions, you can. The dates are going to be different because September 7th is like next week. So we don't really know what's happening with Candlelight. They said they'll let us know, but we can talk about that more later. Our trip is to New York City next year. We will go in depth more later, but this is the itinerary, and it's going to be an amazing trip. And I'm just really hoping that things go back to normal and there's a vaccine and all that stuff so we can really enjoy this trip together. And then I gave a calendar for the whole year. It is easier to say something got canceled than to try and get everybody on the same page if something ends up happening. So I ended up putting everything as if things were going to go back to normal, and we will see what happens with that. Please read this statement at the bottom of this page. It's very important. I had to stay with a student for 3+ hours last year because their parent decided that they were going to go back to sleep since their child did not communicate correctly that they had to be picked up at a certain time. And I understand you might be frustrated with your students about not communication, but that's not fair to me, who had been with them for 12+ hours already that day and really needed to get some sleep so I could wake up at 5 the next day to teach my students. So please make sure you pick up your students. This is what your students are graded on each week. So if you ever have questions about why they didn't get 100% in chorus, you can know. Please enforce, tell your students no cell phones during class. Like that's just a thing forever. And I'm already having students who are getting points deducted on their participation grade because they have their cell phone in their hand every day during class. And then this is the consent form. Please make sure you fill this out, letting me know that you understand that our students will end up on the internet somehow because they perform on stage and there are other parents in the audience, and I can't control every single phone that's recording. And if they decide to put that on Facebook or YouTube or whatnot, like how am I going to know? So it is a chance that your students will be online. And then we're doing a thing called Musical Mondays. So I'm going to use film, video, music, and social media within the classroom. And then this is the last page that you sign that just lets me know that you read over everything and you understand everything. Do I have any questions about the handbook at this time? Awesome. Thank you, Miss Rosen. You're like the only one I can see, so it makes me happy to see you participating. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are just the events lined out in order. So if we end up having home football games, I would love to have parents be there because we're going to have an octet sing the national anthem every single time. And it's a really cool jazzy version. So it would be really awesome to have at least another adult there besides just me, because I'm like worrying about mics and whatnot. And you can help by just being another adult. All-state, if your student does get into All-state, then you need to be the one to go with them to Tampa and be in a hotel room with them. Unless, let's say, like 2 boys both make it, then we could talk about if you want to split the cost of a hotel room, like 2 families working on that. Again, that's something a booster club could help with. They could help fundraise so that students who get into honor choirs like that don't have to pay for their lodging, because for example, that cannot come out of the course account because that's not benefiting all the course students. But if the booster club that's not connected to the course account fundraised money for it, you see what I'm saying? That's where a booster club would be very helpful. Homecoming, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, again, they'll be singing, and that would be awesome to have another pair of adult hands. Ooh, is there a question? Yay! That makes me happy. We'll talk more about how we can sign up for volunteering. Solo and ensemble is going to be recorded, solos only. If your student is interested, it's $50, $30 for the accompanist, $20 for the audition, and they'll get a accredited judge to give them a superior, excellent, a good, a poor, or a fair. And if they get a superior, then they get to go to the state level, which would look really nice on resumes. School concerts, like I said, I'm leaning towards pre-recorded or live streaming. I'm not, so we'll figure that out as we go. Candlelight, if you want to be a chaperone for candlelight, because I can only have a certain amount, and everybody wants to chaperone candlelight because it's 2 tickets per chaperone. I am doing a point system. I've already made a spreadsheet of which parents have helped me how many times, and the parents who help me the most get the reward of this Disney tickets. That's what I'm going to do this year. So if you want to go to candlelight, please be that parent. That's my go-to person, not just the person who shows up once to get 2 free Disney tickets. Arts Alive, you know, actually I made a slide for each of these. I totally forgot. I should move on so you can see more information. So we talked about football games. These are the dates for the all-state practices. We did get permission to be after school for 1 hour, again, socially distanced, and we will go over the music. You'll be recorded on the 9th or the 10th, and then if you make it, then you'll get a hotel room and you'll stay in the weekend in Tampa to go to the conference. It's an amazing conference, best musicians in the state, amazing, best conductors in the world. I highly recommend it, excuse me. So the thing where I said that you would record your voice and a judge would give you a rating for your solo, it's going to be recorded, and it's November 13th. So if you are interested, please prepare 2 contrasting songs now. It can either be musical theater, jazz, or classical. And then if you make it to the state level, then what I think will happen is your parents will drive you to Seminole State College to then be judged at the state level. If multiple people get superiors and the coronavirus is under control, then I could rent a vehicle and we could go together. All County is the best students in the district coming together to sing. Anthony actually did that last year and he did awesome. So these are the dates if you want to jot them down. We do need transportation for this. So you would have to take him to Point Siena unless we're going digital in November for the auditions. And then you will have to take him to Liberty in the last week of January. Again, if we have multiple students and the coronavirus is under control by January, I can rent a vehicle and we can all meet at Toho and then drive over together. Because I know that it's on Point Siena's on the other side of the district. They did that because last year, St. Cloud was on this side of the district, so they're trying to alternate. And then the concert is also at Liberty. And then school concerts, these are the dates that I have. Not 100% sure if life will go back to normal. Hopefully by spring it will, but winter we're probably going to have to do a live stream recorded option, but here's the dates just in case. And again, for the logistics rehearsal, having all 100 something students in the auditorium at once, I would love some parent eyes. And then the mass rehearsal, again, kids will be everywhere. They'll be in the chorus room lining up. They'll be in the dressing room getting ready. They'll be on stage singing. So it'd be really good to have some eyes backstage while I'm conducting. And then when we do the performance, we go all out for the winter concert. There's hot chocolate, there's a family photo station, there's all this stuff. So it'd be really helpful to have volunteers. And the same thing for the spring, it'd be really helpful to have some extra pair of eyes. Okay, so this is what I was talking about for Candlelight. I'm doing a point system. And you have to understand that you're not just there to get into the park for free and have fun. You have to ride the bus with us. You need to either be a table attendant, which means that you stay in the tent backstage and watch everybody's stuff, or you're backstage of the actual performance, making sure that everything is going smoothly on for our school. So a lot of the times you don't even get to see the performance. So please be aware of that. Arts Alive is a scholarship opportunity through performance that the district hosts. I will have applications for you in January, and if you are selected, then you will have your dress rehearsal March 24th to 25th, because it's a showcase, and then whoever does the best of the showcase will get the scholarship money, and it's a really awesome opportunity. This picture is from last year at MPA. Such an amazing experience. Not sure if it's happening this year. I really hope it is, but these are the dates. And again, I need one adult for every student when I go off of campus. So if I take all 100 students, then I'm going to need 9 more parents to go with me. So please keep that in mind for districts. And then here is some information for Carnegie Hall. It got moved to next year because obviously it would not be safe to go this year. But it's even better because it's the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 Memorial Concert. So it's going to be an even more extravagant lineup and impactful performance, I believe, than if it was just this year, which was the 19th. It's still going to be an important day for everybody who lost someone important, but to be able to be part of such a big concert next year is such an awesome honor. And we were invited by the city government of New York City, the historical division. And so that's just a big honor in itself. It's the same price, except I believe the flights will be cheaper. So that's awesome that we will be able to save some money because airlines are cutting their prices drastically. We will start doing payment plans again in September. And I have an awesome spreadsheet of everybody who's already paid and whatnot. So it will be very individualized. We'll have 12 months to pay this time. So that's really awesome. 12 months to pay off your balance. We should be good to go. That's the last event I had to talk about. And I'm just really encouraging you to sign up for Remind. I am the department chair for the arts. I am the district chair for Osceola County. I have over 100 students and I am just overwhelmed with email. You can ask your students that when we are singing, they have 100% of my attention because I believe that's what they deserve. And so then when I go to my email at the end of the day, there's like, it can be between 25 to 75, sometimes 100 emails in one day. And I value the students and I value the parents more. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I get back to you. But I'm gonna be honest, spam happens, clutter happens, and I don't get to see all of them. But I've never not been able to communicate with a parent and remind, because it goes directly to my phone. It buzzes, I see Anthony Rozon's mom, and I'm just like, okay, I need to answer right now. So please sign up with Remind so that you can send me private messages whenever you need to ask me questions. Oh, that's a money sign. That was supposed to be an and sign. Any questions? I know there's only 3 of us, but yeah. And wow, it looks like we'll end 30 minutes early if we don't have any questions. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you no, you're not interested in being a booster. Okay. I saw that right here. Okay, no problem. And then Kayla Harris. Oh, you're supposed to be in theater. You're in the wrong group. Okay. I'm gonna help Kayla really quick. So thank you, Ms. Rosone, for being here. If you don't have any questions, you win MVP for chorus parent for being here. Yay! Thank you. Okay. Bye. Okay. Kayla, you couldn't join. Did you try so what you need to do is you need to leave this video call and you need to join me, then hit join meeting again, put in 8, I put it in the chat. 898-686-98347, and the password is Toho Theater. So I'm gonna leave and make sure that you join your theater meeting with that. Good? Are you there? Okay, awesome. Have a good night. Thank you for being here.